What's up, Mortgage Coach community? I am sitting down with Brittany Hodak. What's up, Brittany?
Hey, how's it going? I wore my best Snoopy sweatshirt for you today, Dave.
I like it. I like it. And I like that background. It matches.
Thank you.
Yeah. So guys, Brittany and I were talking about what do we need to talk about before the end of the year? Her and I were debating, should we talk first or second week in January? Should we talk now? And Brittany said, no, we need to talk before the end of the year because she wants to make sure that loan officers are thinking about how am I going to turn my past customers into super fans? And and she thinks that probably not going to think about it between now and Christmas, but maybe that week between Christmas and New Year's, this would be something that she thinks you should be thinking about. Like if you're a local referral based mortgage or real estate professional, you need to come into January and you need to be like hitting it hard with your past customers. So Brittany, any other ways you want to frame that, like in how we have this conversation right now in the community?
No, I think that's great. I think what I would challenge everybody to do is as you're thinking about business planning for 2021, it's easy to think about the numbers side. I want to originate this many loans, or I want to close this many deals, or I want to do this amount of volume. As you're thinking through those, I challenge you to think about how much is going to come from your existing client base. Make goals around the conversion of people that are already in your network, because a lot of times people look outside for more deals when they should be looking inside. It's so easy to neglect that database and those people. So as you're formulating your goals for 2021, I want you to think about how you can have a lot of that come from within your database or referrals from people that are in your database.
So Kimmy, I literally think this particular call could be the most important call you're going to watch that I do for the past month. While I
No
just
pressure.
finished, no, I really mean that because mortgage professionals are just notorious for being hunters. We want new relationships. We want new realtors. Oh, a new customer, a new person, and being horrible farmers. They don't resource their past customer database well. They all know that they should do annual reviews, but they don't do it. And when they get busy, they don't do it. So it's like loan officers are just notorious for not optimizing their past customer database. So I think this is really important. So it sounds like the number you're recommending is, okay, how many past customers you have? And every single month, you should like how many past customers that I did a loan for and have like a past customer pull through rate. Is that the metric you're referring to?
That's an important metric, and also the referral metric. How many of your customers are coming in as referrals from existing borrowers? And the referrals from realtors for mortgage professionals is also an important number to keep an eye on, because there's such a focus a lot of times, like you said, of people being really great hunters and not great farmers of, oh, I want to go meet 10 new realtors, or, oh, I'm going to go make all these new relationships. And so my question is always, well, okay, how are you adding more value than everyone else in your market who wants those same relationships? And why do you need to make those new relationships? Is it because you've completely exhausted the potential of the relationships that you have already? Probably not, right? But again, you said it's like that thrill of the chase, going out, trying to make those new relationships rather than cultivating. I heard a stat the other day that something like 85% of people, when they go for a new mortgage or a refi, use a different partner. Like the retention rate is somewhere between 15 and 20%. Like that is such a low, such a low retention rate. So, focus on cultivating those relationships. How are you serving the people that you did a refi for this year? How are you serving the people who you helped get their first home 3 years ago, or you helped them get a vacation home 2 years ago? How are you continuing to serve them so that they're not just coming back to you when it's time for their next loan, but that they're thinking of you when their friends are in the position to look for a borrower or a realtor or whatever it is that you're serving in the industry?
So let's riff real quick. And I know you're not a mortgage, I don't know, you haven't owned a mortgage company, you haven't been a loan officer, but you are an expert at customer loyalty and creating experiences that create super fans that optimize retention. Let's go through a list of all the things a loan officer could do to create super fans and give them just some, I'm doing my planning. What are all the things they need to think about doing? Almost like we're creating a playbook for the mortgage coach community. What are where do we start?
So here's where I'd start. First, I would say is, what are your clients' expectations? and how can you exceed them at every step of the process. And what I've noticed from working with a lot of originators over the years is a lot of them are so good at the during. Like they're so good from the time they talk to the client for the first time to when that loan closes and they move on to the next. So I encourage you, don't just think about the during, think about the before, the during, and the after, because a lot of people are doing a great job on delivering of that during. So what I want to challenge everybody to think about in 2021 is, what is your before plan, which is a lot about your brand and your differentiation, so that when people are trying to decide, which originator they're going to work with or where they're going to go, how are you taking yourself from a commodity to a category of one, right? Like, how are you positioning yourself to get that deal because you're the expert? What content are you creating? How are you framing your story online? What are those relationships to where people pick up the phone and want to work with you? They're not just calling saying like, what rate can you get me? So that's the first part, is the before part. How are you creating the opportunity to own that experience? You got to nail the during, you got to exceed the expectations. And then the one that so many people don't pay any attention to is the after. And if you ask, like, what is your client expecting from you? Like, what are the expectations from, an LO after a loan closes? Probably like similar to what you expect from like your dentist, right? Or some other service provider. Like, oh, maybe they're going to send me a postcard on my birthday. Maybe I'm going to get an email once a month with some, like a really exciting drip campaign that somebody's going to add me to. Like, the expectations aren't all that high. So to the extent that you can continue to add value by keeping that relationship alive, by being smart, by using your CRM, by figuring out how to personalize your experiences, you can really make an impact, because the bar, generally speaking, is pretty low, right? It's pretty low in terms of what a lot of people are doing with, like, maybe you're getting kind of a generic closing gift and then you're like being filtered into a list in that CRM.
So let me show something on my screen. You tell me what would be better before the loan. Like when you're talking to a family and you ask them what their hopes and their dreams and their goals would be, should a loan officer give them this, like, hey, here's my quote, rate, payment, cash to close. So A, should they do A, or should they do B? Give them something branded with a video, showing the family options, showing them strategies where they could pay off their debt faster, giving them the transparency of seeing those different options over time. What do you think, Brittany? Should we give them A, or should we give them B?
I don't know. I'm not sure which door they're going to be more likely to open. This B, this is very interesting. This could almost be a thing. What did that say? Total cost analysis. Is anyone doing this? Is there like a plug and play solution that I can do this for my customers?
You know what? I actually know of a way to do this. So,
wait, that's something that people can do automatically.
Oh, it's super easy. Just sign up for Mortgage Coach and we can do that for you.
No, exactly. And that's, so yes, everybody in this community is automatically positioned to stand out above and beyond people who aren't doing TCAs for their customers. And what I like to challenge everybody to do is come up with 3 ways that you can showcase your point of differentiation. What can you do before the transaction, during the transaction, and after the transaction that's going to connect your story to the story of the client you're serving, whether that's a family, whether that's a retiree? What can you do? And I say that a lot of people forget about the after, and that's because we sort of, like you said, LOs and realtors are notoriously great hunters. They're good at finding those new deals and closing those new deals. But to the extent that you can stay top of mind with like a really smart campaign that plays out over time, is going to just make it that much easier for you to answer the phone to people who are already pre-qualified because they've been referred to you. Can I share a couple fun examples?
Yeah, go for it.
So in terms of closing gifts, I saw somebody a couple months ago who said, I'm going to start making aprons for my clients, like as a closing gift. And I was like, oh, that's a cute idea. Like say something like, home sweet, new home cooking, or, like whatever. So that's a great idea. But instead of just an apron, what if there's something to continue to tie you to this person whose deal you just closed? Maybe it's a cookie cutter too. And that cookie cutter has an invitation to a Facebook group where you're going to share recipes every single month. So you have a private Facebook group that maybe you co-curate with a realtor in your market, and you guys are constantly sharing new exciting recipes, or you're sharing, fun lifestyle type things. You could send physical recipes in the mail every single month, right? If you love gardening, you could do the same thing. Probably a lot of people who you help get into new homes want to plant a vegetable garden or want to have pretty flowers in their landscaping. So taking your interest and turning that into something that is a continuation of your relationship with that client. So it doesn't have to end when the loan closes, because even though you're an expert at getting that loan for them, you're chances are an expert at a lot of other things too that could continue to serve a lot of your clients. And when you do that, you're not just that person that they think of when they need a loan 7 years from now. You're somebody that's helping them improve this investment that they've made into this new home, because you're helping them enjoy it more. You're helping them make it more beautiful. You're helping them renovate it, whatever it is. So you're continuing the conversation. You're giving them a reason to continue to think about you. And even if you're like, I don't want to have a Facebook group, I don't want to have any, that all sounds too hard. There's still ways that you can be more creative than the average bear. Like, again, if the normal thing is you're getting an email on your birthday, maybe you can send a video instead of an email. Maybe you can do it on their half birthday when there's not a lot of competition because everybody else is telling them happy birthday. Maybe you can send them a funny half birthday something. Maybe on the anniversary of their closing, instead of just a lame, postcard every year saying like, hey, you signed a mortgage 4 years ago today. Maybe you can take, what are those old school, like the traditional anniversary things where it's like the first year anniversary is like paper, and then it's like cotton, and then whatever it is, cotton candy. I don't know. You can send, actually cotton candy would be a funny thing to send. Like you could send them a tiny little thing every year on the anniversary. That's that traditional anniversary. Like there are things that you can do that separate you from everyone else in your market because they're based around your interest, your personality. When you do that, not only are you going to separate yourself from the competition, but you're borrowing equity from all of those things. You're positioning yourself in those customers' minds with those things. So when they think of, like if you've got your gardening group that you run, what's going to happen over time is they're going to think of you every time they think of gardening. So you can steal that positioning so people aren't just thinking about you the next time they need a mortgage, which of course makes them much more likely not only to come back to you when they need you again, but also to recommend you to friends. Versus like when you have some random service provider and you're like, oh, it's been 3 years since my bathtub broke. I don't remember the name of the plumber I used. It's easier for me to just like Google another plumber because it's been 3 years and I forgot.
So I am loving this conversation. I want to throw a few more logs on the fire. So when you're planning for Superfans in 2021, first of all, the metric you should be shooting for is that 10% of your past clients do a transaction with you in 2021. So if you've got 1,000 past customers, that should be 100 loans that you go into next year. Just, I got it. And that does not include the referrals that you get from those people. Those are just actual loans. People buy and sell homes. People refinance when rates are low, but even when rates aren't low, they do cash out refis. They do home improvement refis. They do cause-driven refis that they don't want to do, but they have to do. So there's 10%. And that's in a normal market. In today's market, it's probably 20%. It's called past customer pull-through rate. So that's your metric. What are all the things you're going to do? So you're going to do mortgage coach at the front end. Yep. You're going to do a mortgage coach annual review. A lot of CRMs automate that for you. Other fintech companies that I'm a big fan of, you want to be a fintech powered loan officer. I'm a big fan of HomeBot, and that's something that you can do post transaction and pre transaction. I'm a big fan of House Happy. Check out househappy.com. I love the home concierge value that brings post transaction. Guys, I'm a big fan of Social Survey and what you could do to have reviews. So you're the most well-known, most well-respected, most well-reviewed loan officer in your market, and you're packaging those. They integrate with total cost analysis, post-transaction, pre-transaction. Big fan of Sales Boomerang. Great product that makes you know what consumers are doing, even though like they're not telling you. You just know when they list their home. You get an alert. You know when their FICO score up, you get an alert. You know things that big data can tell you. Big lenders, I don't want to mention any brands, but the biggest lenders in the country have borrower intelligent. Sales Boomerang gives you borrower intelligent. And then I want to give you one last free idea. Tell me what you think of this, Brittany. And then we're going to give a few more, and then we're going to wrap this up. So here's another idea. You guys all have this in your pocket. You could put a text video, like you talk to a family, and let's just say it was a purchase, and they say they want to move forward, and you just put a text video like Josh Metal does. Let's listen to this quick 1-minute video. Josh talked to a family, and then he gave them a text video. Tell me whether this would create super fans if your loan officer did this with you.
Hey Chad, Josh Metal, Fairway Independent Mortgage. Good chatting with you, buddy. Enjoy the BYU game and go Cougs. Hope you get a victory. I will send you next my personal contact card. Please save that. If you need me, don't hesitate to text me. That's probably the quickest way to get a hold of me most of the time. But feel free if you need me after hours or on the weekend, shoot me a text that way. I'll also then send you a text message with a link to the Fairway Now mobile app. This is a great little tool. Please click on the link, download the mobile app from the App Store, then launch the app and click on the client questionnaire. Once you've completed the client questionnaire, that data is securely transferred over to me. As I said, it's preliminary information. I'll backfill anything that you missed. Just fill it out to the best of your ability. Probably shouldn't take you more than 10 or 15 minutes from your mobile device, and then we'll jump in and get going from there. If you could also send me a copy of the purchase agreement, that would be great. My email is josh@joshmetal.com. It'll also be in the contact card I send you, and we'll be in contact soon. Take care, buddy.
Brittany, would you like it if your loan officer, after you had your first conversation, after being referred by a realtor, put a little text video like that to you?
I absolutely would. And Josh is obviously a pro. He's done a great job, but it's totally personalized. He got the team mentioned in there. He gave the exact call to action, exactly what he needed them to do. Now, what I would challenge everybody to be thinking about over the break between Christmas and New Year's, or anytime really, if you're not doing this yet, is how are you creating your own content that you can repurpose again and again and again, so that you become Josh, like you become that category of one. Like you want to be the name, the face that they recognize. So if your realtor has said, here are a couple of different people that you can check out and go to, they are going to be absolutely wowed when they see you, focusing on that before part, right? And a lot of times I talk to LOs who say, I don't know what I would talk about. I have nothing to talk about. Why could I make videos? How could I do it? Here's my advice. My advice is to make a list of the most common questions that you get. Maybe it's questions from first-time home borrowers. Maybe it's questions people have about refi. Did I miss my opportunity? What does this mean? What about COVID? Like whatever the questions are that you found yourself answering again and again and again in 2020, write those down. Record short videos, just exactly like how Josh was, straight to camera. Hey, it's me, Josh. I want you to know, a lot of people have been asking me, and then you answer them, right? Upload all of those videos to wherever you want. You can put them on Loom, you can put them on Facebook, you can put them on Vimeo, anywhere you want. YouTube, you can put them on multiple places if you want. But by creating all those together into a playlist, now you have content that you can deploy anytime. You can give it to your realtor partners. Like you can say, hey, just checking in. Hope you have an amazing 2021. I know in 2020, I found myself answering this question a lot of times. If you have clients who come to you with questions, here are quick videos that you can send them to answer those questions. Like giving ammo to your partners, and then also having it so that after you have your first call with somebody, you can, record a personalized video just like that. And also say, hey, based on the fact that you told me you're moving from out of state, here are some questions that some of my past clients have had about relocating to here in Fresno from out of state. And then you just link to the videos. Now, all of a sudden they're like, wow, this guy or this girl really knows their stuff. They've created all of these expert videos, and then you can repurpose that. You can repurpose that content over and over and over again. You can, use it for social posts and blogs and everything else.
Love it. So lots of stuff to think about between Christmas and New Year's. Come out hitting it strong. I'm going to take this interview that we did, Brittany, and are you willing to co-author a LinkedIn article with me where we call it the super fan playbook for 2021? You cool? Absolutely. With you and I? And then how about, would you be willing to maybe jump on another call mid, second, third week in January? And by that time, we'll have thought about this a little bit more. Hopefully we'll get some feedback from you guys. Give us comments down below. What are you doing to create super fans? And we just wrap a bow around this so that the mortgage coach community has the Brittany Hodak, Dave Savage, mortgage coach community super fan playbook. Are you cool with that?
I am totally cool with that. And what I want to see people put in the comments down below, and what I want everybody watching to think about is, what is your superpower? We all have one. What is it that you do better than anyone else in your market? What is it that makes you the best LO for your potential customer base? What is it? Because if you don't know your superpower, nobody else is going to be able to figure it out either. So you've got to know what your thing is so that you can lean into it, so that the realtors that are referring you, the clients that you're working with, and the friends of those clients that are potential referrers all sort of know what it is that makes you different and special than everyone else.
Well, I don't think I overbuild it. I really think getting to your past customers, creating super fans, it's the most valuable thing you can do as a referral-based mortgage professional, local referral-based mortgage professional. So I really think this is that important. I hope you'll share this with your mortgage friends. I hope you'll comment down below so that, one, you get clear on what you're doing, and Brittany and I know what it is that you're doing, and it will help us make a better playbook. So share this with your mortgage friends, comment down below. Brittany Hodak, really appreciate you.
Selfishly, it's so much easier. Like, if your alternative is you were going to spend the holiday trying to figure out how to go viral on TikTok, like, it's a lot easier to just add more value to those people who already know you.
I totally agree with you. Take care, Brittany.
Thanks, Dave. Talk soon.